Hello, everybody, and welcome. And thank you for watching the English restreams of RTA in Japan. My name is The Valiant Sun, and I will be your host for the next 5 hours as we go into the evening for US and start our brand new morning. I believe it is 8 a.m. in Japan. And we're starting with a fun classic coming up. We've got Tokimeki Memorial Girls Side 4th part, ran by RE. Exactly. Who's ready to date some cute Japanese boys? Oh, I'm going to bring in our comms right now because apparently we're starting now. Bringing in on our commentary, we have Amyrlinn and moonblazewolf. If you want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Amyrlinn. I have played Tokimemo 1 and Tokimemo Girls Side 1 a little bit. I am not very competent at the games, but I really like them. I have a lot of fun playing them.
And I'm moonblazewolf. I am extremely fascinated by this series, and I have done a lot of background learning, especially on the original Tokimeki Memorial. I watched a long YouTube video on it, just to be very clear.
There's a famous 6-hour Tim Rogers video on this. So I guess starting from just introducing like what this game is, the Tokimeki Memorial came out in 1996, I think, and it's basically it was not the first, but very much heralded as the world's first dating sim. And it's an RPG where you have to raise your stats and date girls. In this case, this is girls' side, so we're dating boys. It was heralded as being extremely hard because some of the girls have like really arcane requirements in order to get their confession scene at the end. And the box art character, Shiori Fujisaki, wound up being like the hardest character to actually get an ending for because she requires all your stats to be basically perfect for all 3 years of the game. So it developed this reputation as this like infamously hard series.
Yeah, and it's not just a stat game, it's also managing scenarios. So throughout the series, and I think there's less of that in this game from what I saw, you also have to manage relationships with the other girls, or in this case, the other boys that might be potential love interests or, you know, characters that you would come across. And they can do what is called bombing you. And so bombing you can really derail your playthrough, and obviously in a speedrun sense, I assume that would be very bad for your speedrun. So it's not just about numbers, it's also about like knowing what to say or how to diffuse like simulated social situations.
So DJ is naming himself RTA-chan here. From the commentary that we've seen on this in the past, his blood type, you can set your blood type, your bedroom style, and your birthday. None of that really seems to matter in this run specifically. So this run is about romancing Ryota Kazama, who's your protagonist's childhood friend. Like I said in the beginning, you tend to start out with a childhood friend character in these games. And for some reason, they either tend to be really easy, like Ryota Kazama starts out liking you a lot. Like he starts the run saying, I feel like I could confess to you right now. Or they're really hard, like Shiori Fujisaki. It's really good that this is an easy one.
Yeah, I read that part in the notes. We'll talk about the notes that we have received for commentating this run, I'm sure, at some point. And I immediately saw this character is your protagonist's childhood friend, and like my heart skipped a beat because it's like, if your baseline understanding of this series is Shiori Fujisaki, it's just like, oh, that is like the ultra super difficult hard ending probably. So maybe it isn't in this case, but it is still a trend that you will see in these games.
Yeah. Luckily, Ryota's stats are pretty. This is Ryota Kazama. hey, he's returned to Habataki Academy after studying in England for 10 years, and he was your childhood friend, and that was that little cutscene at the beginning where they're in the church. So, it's the introduction to Year 1. And DJ he's gonna spend a lot of time racing stats that seem largely unimportant for the first 2 years, which is very funny.
Yeah, specifically in Year 1, the runner is going to join the sewing club, which raises a couple of stats, and I believe also helps you save money. I'm not sure if it's the sewing part specifically, or if it's that one itself is like kind of low cost to be a part of. But that will also be something to keep track of over the course of the run. So one other note, I believe the name was actually a naming incentive. And then I believe there is also another incentive for a dialogue choice later on in the run. Or it's like a dialogue choice versus a kiss to Ryota. Last I checked, it was like kiss him in a landslide. So maybe not too much drama there, but there are incentives tied to this run if people want to donate. So
yeah, please donate. All right, so the runner's speeding past a bunch. Okay, that's Goro Hanatsubaki, the infamous butt chin man from Girls Side 1. He's the uncle, I think. It's somewhere in my notes. Of the two sisters who popped up, Hikaru and Michiru Hanatsubaki. Both of them are useful in casual playthroughs. They are completely useless for this run. Hikaru shows you whether a character likes you or not, and Michiru will give you extra advice on your fashion, which you don't need at all. So luckily, for the first year, right, so this is him spamming the sewing club. It increases, I have this written down as well, stress, style, art, and attentiveness to others. That one translates really weirdly from Japanese. I couldn't really find a good way to write it. And it decreases your fitness and your charm. And when he's outside of the school like that, he's going to pick Walk Home Alone, which avoids meeting any other characters. So it's just the whole point of this game and this series is to like meet all these charming boys and fall in love and get into relationships with them. And the runner's just like, nope, I want to focus only on this one guy and go home.
And part of that is because of some of the social mechanics that I alluded to earlier, like the bombing and stuff. So the more characters that you're interacting with or like know who you are, the higher the possibility that they will try to bomb you. And then you have to probably stop whatever you're doing and deal with that, and then maybe get back to, like the stat grinding or the other things that the runner is going to have to do to secure the relationship that he wants to get.
Yeah, the stats that matter for Ryota are academics, arts, fitness, style, and attentiveness to others. Those all have to be at 150 for his normal ending. There's a true ending. It's a lot harder to do. You have to very much like avoid a ton of things and focus extremely on Ryota. So luckily, grinding the sewing club gets those stats really high really fast. And he also cares a little bit about your placement in exams, which come up in December of each year. I believe from the runs that we saw that the runner will get around 50th in the class or so, which is pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah, another thing just to kind of orient people to the screen is, and just like the structure of the game is, so there's 3 school years. You can tell we're in year 1 because in the top right it says the 1, and then the dates are next to that. So currently it is June 22nd as I'm days of us in the sewing club just fly by here. So when we're referencing years or the dates, that's where we're looking to get that information.
All right, and we got a Walk Home with Ryota event there, which is good. We need to raise his likability. It has to be maxed out for in order to get his confession ending. the Zokubun, I want to say her name if I haven't already. Shout out to her. She wrote a lot of really good notes for me on top of what we were already researching. Apparently, DJ Ree will call any cutscene that doesn't involve Ryota a time loss because we're not focusing on him.
170人以上、この学年生徒がおりますので比較的上位かなと思います。
True, who we never talk to.
またね部活頑張っていきましょう。
Yeah, so in year 3, we can start talking about the dating mechanics because that's when we will really start going on dates with Ryota. Up until then, he just kind of ignores everybody.
Yeah, that was another I'm not going to walk home with anyone menu when it's like kind of outside the school and the runner chooses the third option there.
And so that was another a lot of the pop-ups are people inviting you places. I believe the one that he passed a little bit ago was the teacher inviting you to his house for a study date. You can date your teacher in this game. Don't want to get into that, but again, he's just going to stay at home and grind his stats. He's got attentiveness at 150 now, which is good. Art and style are both above 100. And the upper right is rich or money, I guess. That one actually raises every time you start a new game, so it can go up to 200. So that's why you had to start a completely new file for this. It defaults to 100 normally. Oh, and I guess the main thing about stat grinding. So every time you pick a stat to grind or pick an activity to do, you can either succeed or fail. And if you succeed, obviously your stats go up a lot. If you fail, it used to lower your stats. But as the games have gone on, it's not quite as punishing with that anymore. In this case, it raises them by just a little bit instead of lowering like every stat. Failing in all the games was really bad.
Yeah, in order to get some of the endings in some of the earlier games, you would literally have to save scum things because it was that tight.
Yeah.
風間くんとの強制下校イベントが発生しました。これね、何回かこの演出入ると思うんですけれども、大体風間くんがI
guess another thing is as far as like how you're actually supposed to play this game casually. I mean, first of all, like you can just play this for fun and just accept whatever, like, you know, there's a person that organically I seem to like really vibe with, so I'm going to go ahead and pursue them. But you aren't innately told, you aren't like directly told a lot of the things about like this character, for example. So you have to sort of learn through dialogue or learn through failure, things like that. So it is very much meant to be a game that you play over and over and over again, learning more and more about the characters as you go.
So again, we're saying hi to Michiru and Hikaru and then never talking to them. So these are skinship events. I'm not sure if these were added in this game or in a previous game, but each boy has a specific place he likes to be touched. I, frankly, could not find anything online about where Ryota likes to be touched, but it seems like it's his forehead. This does matter. Some of the boys don't like it when you touch them on their lips or their ears or their, I think, neck was one I saw. So you have to be very specific about that.
We also should point out we're getting fairly close to exam time now, so the runner's focus has shifted a little bit away from just grinding the sewing club. You'll see more sleeping and exercising, and then I believe the current action that is going on over and over has to do with the cultural festival, to kind of like participate in that as a special activity.
Yeah, this was one of the other notes I got. That's Goro Hanatsubaki. He has endings in Girls Side 1. The DJ Ree will be spamming past most of these inputs because, frankly, in his own words, none of them have to do with Ryota. So he's just ignoring him because he's ignoring everything because Ryota doesn't show up.
しっかりね運動して
I found in the notes where it's, you know, Zoku put for us, cultural festival command raises all your stats, so that gets spammed once it gets popped up, and that is purely like calendar driven. Yeah, so now we're exercising with a hula hoop as one does.
Yeah,
in older games it would be like running, or it would be I think it depends on like what club you join sometimes. So if you're in like the fencing club, you'll do fence or kendo, I guess. So one of the things that has changed is Ryota started popping up in the little cutscene overlays. This happens when a boy likes you enough. He'll start showing up in the activities you're doing. So more frequently now, Ryota will be showing up in the sewing club or in the other things that the runner is grinding. Not in the sleeping, though. That would be kind of weird.
Yeah, you'll see it in year 2 with a different NPC as well that we'll talk about once that starts popping up. So.
ちょっとね毎回ちょっとデュフッとなっちゃうんですが、これは寒くなってきたので帰ろうといった内容です。
One of the so as we get a little further into the run, it's frankly astonishing that he's only run into one other boy so far. But the way running into boys in Tokimeki Memorial works is that as your stats go up and as you do more stuff, that hits the threshold to unlock the boy. Which is perhaps the weirdest way I could have said that, but
it worked out.
Yeah, and as you meet more boys, the threshold to meet more of them goes up, so you don't meet like 10 of them at once, and then everybody's setting off bombs. So that was New Year's, I believe, that he just went through. He's wearing the overalls. You go out, which since they're the default item in the game, they have no penalty because your character is just always supposed to have them. And he's going to a Christmas party with them, which is frowned upon. These are not good-looking overalls, so I believe he's going to get thrown out of the party or asked to leave. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
That's
Christmas.
fine.
Not quite to New Year's
Christmas.
yet, but
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Christmas party every year.
But he did get to meet Ryota, which matters. That raises affection a little bit.
残念。ちょっと忙しかったようでね断られてしまいましたので致し
So I believe this is the shrine visit for the new year.
もうねちょっと
Okay, so since the Hanatsubaki sisters showed up, that means Ryota doesn't quite like him enough to go to the shrine with him. He's going to pray for academics.
はい一刻も早く帰りたいのでおみくじは引きません。はい時間のね無駄でしたね。はいそしてね
Bad for these girls. Their entire reason for being in this game is just not needed.
Yeah, they're kind of like they help you assess, you know, prospects and other certain stats that the runner doesn't care about. There's usually a character in every Tokimeki Memorial game that kind of acts as like your index or your intel system, and I believe that is which one is it that's that one?
Hikaru, the purple hair.
Yeah. But yeah, runner does not need her at all. But she is going to help with our fashion here. So kind of what we were talking about with the little boxes that pop up. You'll start seeing that character in them for the fashion. Because we're switching gears. We're working on our fashion now that we're after the new year. I guess it's not necessarily fashion. It says it's looks, but
yeah, it translates very weird. But it's like in this game, it translates as like style,
okay,
or trendiness.
I'm just imagining like in Wicked, where Elphaba's getting made popular.
Yeah, this is that.
来ましたね。これはバレンタインが近くなってきました。
I do find it very funny that one of the stats is charm, and that is at 0 right now.
Yes.
The DJ is the least charming person ever, and you can still get Ryota to want to confess to you at the
い
end.
やーちょっと毎回ね嬉しいですねこれは。はい、そして、ご忠告いただいたのでね、バレンタインフェアに行きましょう。ですがお金がないので家に帰ります。はい、手作りチョコもね。
So Valentine's Day has come and passed. We are not buying any chocolate for Ryota, nor are we making it. Buying, I think he's avoiding because he's going to need money later, and making it takes a long time. I watched that cutscene. It's like 10 minutes or something. You have the chance to make it very nice and homemade and spend a lot of time, but you also have the option just not give him anything.
楽しいですね。さあプロになったところで、1年生3学期の期末テストです。ちょっとね部活もやめてひかるちゃんと
I think we're kind of through the first cycle of all of the different major events at this point.
廊下に張り出されてお
Yep,
ります。
these are spring exams, and then year 2 will start, I believe, in April.
はい、語学がねちょっと赤がつき始めてしまいました。風間くんお前ちょっと頑張れよとね言ってくれております。さすがにね、テストの復習をしましょうか。さあ、下校
Yeah, I think we're studying for spring exam. Well, or did we already take them?
Yeah, that spring exam's just passed. So
Oh, okay. We're just studying for the heck of it at this point, I guess.
yeah, it's
Because that's
so-
the stat we're focused on, yeah.
yeah, we mentioned it in the beginning, but this is a stat RPG, like very oriented on your stats. It's not really necessarily around. Some of it is picking the right option with the boy when you're out on a date, but a lot of it has to do with managing your stats appropriately. We have met another boy here who we will never talk to, because in Tokimeki Girls Side 4, if you never talk to a boy and never go on a date with him, he won't start bombing you, which is great, because that means we can only go on dates with Ryota and no bombs will happen. But a lot of the actions you can do are trade-offs. They'll be really good for one stat and then like drop another one into the ground. So a lot of the it's kind of, you know, it is obviously very tropey, but like the fashion one will lower your smarts, studying will lower your attractiveness, stuff like that. They all raise more than the others lower, so eventually you can grind all of your stats up to a very high level if you put in a nice schedule for it. But in this case, he doesn't really care about some of them, so he's never going to do the activities that raise those. I also like that every single year, Mikage, who's the ponytail, scruffy hair guy, introduces himself as your homeroom teacher. Every year he's like, hey, it's me, Mikage, again.
You're stuck with me again.
Great, man.
I was trying to figure out, so that character with the blue hair, there's like a dateable younger version of that character, and then there's like his dad, but the dad was in a previous Girls Side game as a dateable character, but is not dateable in this one, and is one of the teachers, or like a teacher friend, and I wasn't totally sure if it was the son or the dad.
It's interesting, as I was doing research for this game, a lot of the callbacks that this game makes are to like previous Girls Side. So Goro Hanatsubaki is related to Hikaru and Michiru, and there's another Hanatsubaki family member who's in Girls Side 3. So they're just all over.
はい無事成功ですね。いやー毎回ねこんないいムードの中2人で帰れて嬉しいんですけれども、ね。
So we're in year 2 now. You can tell because it says the 2 there. So May of year 2. Doing a lot of studying at the moment.
Okay, sorry, it took me a second. I was refreshing the notes. That is Himuro Kazuki that we met. And he actually has a secret requirement that you have to avoid with Ryota Kazama. So the confession ending for Kazama and for every character is fairly straightforward. Your stats have to be high enough. He has to be the one that likes you the most. You have to go on 5 dates. He has to appear in the Marie Garden, which is a mechanic we're never going to see because it's too slow. And you also have to not have the boy make any friends. So, there are occasions when he'll invite you out on like a triple date with him, 2 of his friends, and then 2 other girls, and you have to not go on that date because he cannot make what is called a friend group. So if Kazama pairs up with Iku Honda or Minoru Nanatsumori, or Nozomu Sasa and Himuro Kazuki, you will not get the ending because his boy has made friends. It's such a funny mechanic for this game.
はい、適度にね、またね、ちょっとひかるちゃんのバッチリ演出が入ってしまいました。はい、お休みをして、ここからね、2年生1学期の期末テストいきましょう。まあ、
if we were to use the Michiru or Hikaru mechanics for fashion checking or the garden, that's one of the options that you can pick at home. And it does, I believe, actually no, I don't think either of them consume a time slot anymore. It used to be you had to spend your whole day calling up your buddy to say, hey, which boys like me and how do they feel about me. I don't believe you have to spend your whole day anymore, but it is an option that you have to click into, and then it takes time for, you know, the animation transitions, etc. So.
ちょっとね、もう関わりたくないなというヒカルが来てしまいましたけれども、夏休み入ります。
Now our attentiveness towards others is extremely high. That won't drop. It doesn't matter if that drops for the rest of the run because it's frankly double what we need right now. So at this point, it's about getting the other stats that we need up.
基本的にはね、有酸素運動になります。ですが、
Art is high enough. It's at 179 right now. Fitness is at 132. Styles at 133. Smart is at 56. Those all need to be above 150 by the end for Ryota to confess to you under the tree. Charm is still rock bottom. No charm in this girl.
Yeah, I mean, another interesting thing is like he's not actually raising the smart stat he's raising it just enough to get by the exams, but also needs to do the exercise and rest to get kind of under the bar for the academic requirements of the character that we're pursuing.
Yeah, in other games, if your stress was too high, you could actually like fail doing events altogether just because your character was too stressed out. So you gotta keep it level. This is the class trip. Actually sure where this is to. I should probably have looked that up. But again, Ryota doesn't show up, and it takes time to talk to him anyway, so we're just going to kind of ignore him.
I just want to point out, like, I know that we don't know what the runner is saying particularly, but he's clearly like narrating this run extremely well while he does it, and like the audience is totally hooked on it because they're just like responding very positively and laughing and stuff like that, and like he is very just like charismatic as well. It's really kind of fun to watch while we're watching the game as well. So good job, runner.
Yeah, if you can speak Japanese, I would highly recommend watching this guy's runs, because we've been told that the way he does his commentary is in character, so he pretends that he's the protagonist. So, you know, when he goes to the Christmas party and gets thrown out because he's wearing overalls, he's like, oh, I didn't know there was a dress code.
That was another dateable character that we just saw, by the way, with the with the tie, not and the blonde hair. I think we might have 3 now that have noticed us.
Yeah, we had the motorcycle boy near the beginning, Kazuki, who showed up, and then
致し方なくご登場いただいた格好になっております。とはいえね、本田くんすごく人気な
But again, if we don't go on dates with them, they don't start bomb attachments. So we don't have to like worry about that at all. This would ordinarily in other games, what we'd be doing is juggling stat grinding with making sure we go out on dates with the various boys. And ordinarily, Hikaru would be the one telling us how close they are to setting off a bomb, and a bomb makes every other character in the game dislike you, or sends their likability downward. And that's it's a very tight thing, because when you go on the dates, and you're going to see some of it in year 3 now that we're going to start dating Ryota pretty soon.
Yeah.
They do memory checks on you. So you'll set a date for him to be like, we're going to go to the shopping mall. And then on the day of the date, because you'll set this, 2 weeks in advance, which is sometimes 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how fast you're playing. He'll do a memory check and say, oh, I was supposed to go to the shopping mall, cinema, or park. And you have to pick the right one, otherwise you don't show up to the date, and then the boy gets mad at you. Sometimes it'll do an even meaner thing, which is you'll pick the right option, and then it'll go, are you sure? and if you say no, then you'll pick a different place.
The Monty Hall dilemma in dating form.
Yeah. So like, this game is, entirely best played with a novel or a book beside you, writing down like, okay, I'm going out on a date with Ryota Kazama on December 1st at,
Yeah. This is my Google Calendar for this fictional game, so I can manage my dating sim life.
Yeah. I don't know if there are like harder endings for the game to date more of the boys, but man, it has to be so stressful if you're going for one of those complicated things in a speedrun, because you have to make sure that you got everything right. You could theoretically do the same thing every time, but sometimes the boy will just say no. Oh, first place. Excellent. Ooh. I believe that comes with a stat bump as well, and it also comes with a likability for characters that like academics, which Ryota does, which is great.
Oh, the academics went way up, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost time for the Christmas party again. I just heard Christmas.
Yep. I don't know what that says about the state of academics at Habataki Academy, that someone who didn't start studying until halfway through their second year is like top of the class.
この間もね喋っておりません。はい、クリスマスプレゼント買いに行きましょうか。今年も100均のミニクリスマスリースを買います。今年はねキャンドゥで買っております。はい、そしてね。
So now we're setting up to go to the Christmas party again. We're in the default overalls.
オーバーオールね、やっぱ気に入ってますので着ていきましょうか。
What do you think, chat? You think we'll get in this year?
ごめんなさい、ちょっと1年に1回のイベントなんで、みんなどんな格好してたか覚えてなかったんですけど、めっちゃドレスコードでしたね。この中にね、一人石塚さんスタイルの女がうろうろしてます。
Ryota smiled, so it seems like it. And then they throw you out.
はい、冬休み入りますのでね、室外機の前でフラフープ回しましょう。さあ2週間みっちりね回します。さあ前回ね、昨年は初詣断られてしまいましたけれども、今年もね、しつこく風間くんを初詣に。
Got a couple postcards from characters. I don't remember seeing that in the PB at the end of year 2, but it's possible I just wasn't paying a ton of attention to every interaction. But anyway, Ryota's here.
Huge. This means Ryota really likes us, because if he accepts to go to the shrine with you, that's really good. Once again, we're praying for academics.
風間くんはバッチリコートが決めております。かっこいい。いやー、年始からね、好きな男の子と初詣行けるなんてこんなことありますかね。
I feel like the plan is coming together here.
上がってしまいますけれども。
Yep, the fact that he showed up at all for the shrine trip means that his likability is really high. He's probably in like endgame territory at this point. So now the real dangerous stuff comes up, actually dating him, which is the real problem. So if you'll notice, we're almost to year 3, which is theoretically a third of the way through, or 2/3 of the way through the game. But there's still like half an hour to go on the estimate. That's because all the dates happen in year 3, and those take a while. Because there's a lot you have to do in them. There's sometimes skinship events where you have to touch the boy in the proper places on his face.
The yes places, not the no places.
Not the no places. And again, that's something that you learn by trial and error.
Is that an acceptable social construct in Japanese dating? I don't know. I assume it's not, but maybe when you're young you have to decide like where your skinship spot is.
Giving someone a card that says lips yes, ears no. Alright, once again we're skipping Valentine's Day chocolate for Kazama. Once again, not enough money, and also the homemade chocolate scene takes too long. I believe in year 3 he buys Valentine's chocolate.
Yeah, there's also birthday presents, which I believe we're also avoiding so far.
Oh no, failing a bunch of studies in a row. So coming up at the start of year 3, we're actually going to have a pretty important decision that would matter if this were not a speedrun. Mikage Sensei, our homeroom teacher, is going to say, what do you want to do after graduating? And depending on which boy you're going after, that actually does matter. Sometimes it'll be like, I'm not going to go to college, I'm going to go into the trades. I'm going to go to a first-rate college, I'm going to go to a second-rate college, that kind of. And in this run, we're just going to pick to go to college because it's the first option.
Ryota has not joined us for like studying outside of the classroom, by the way. Occasionally, not every time.
I believe it also gives a bump to likability if you succeed at something while they're there.
That makes sense.
If I remember that correctly.
そして4月1日、私のお誕生日です。なんと風間くんがね、プレゼントを持ってお祝いに駆けつけてくれました。
This is the birthday visit, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, he showed up and gave you a present. Means he likes you.
アクセサリースタンド。しかもね、それでね、浮き足だって言ったら風間くんと3年連続同じクラス。これ運命ですよね。そして3年連続の男はもう一人。
So this is the what to do after graduating choice.
一切ブレずに変わりません。かなり怖いんですけれども、また楽しい1年にしていきましょう。そしてね、進路は大学進学を希望しましょうか。せっかくね、お勉強頑張っておりますね。いい大学に入れるように、勉強しましょう。これはね、三影先生、違いましたね。関係ない女たち、そしてね、本田くんのイベントでした。
I'm always struck by how they draw the characters in these games, because they're all very like, I don't know, it like they don't seem over the top, which is always very good, except for Hikaru. That's the purple hair is a lot, but I don't know, the
I think there's a range, right? Like they make them real. They make, for the most part, I would say the characters seem realistic enough that you could conceivably envision them being an actual high school student.
Yeah.
I also just like, one thing I really enjoy about this series, and it's something I've really noticed watching this game now a couple times, just like the UI design of these games is it's so good.
Yes. Yeah, and one of the things you can actually change as your playthrough of a game goes on is you can change your bedroom, which is like such a small thing to think about, but you know, it's where you pick your options. So like you can change the style of it. You can put different things in it, and boys will like you better or worse depending on what you put there. You know, there's one character that likes like really frilly girly girl type girls, and I was watching that run. The background, the bedroom looks completely different. It is like full pink. So the range of, it's not like, oh, a small thing changed. It's like, no, the whole style is different.
Yeah. I think another thing I've heard a lot about with this series is just the attention to detail and the willingness to kind of give you a payoff for doing some very specific stuff. Like, they're very interested in giving you that as the player. So like, there's so many secret like movies that you can only see if you do this very specific thing, or, you know, kind of like the range of decorative options, different things like that. Like, it lets you go in a lot of different directions, and there's always some sort of payoff for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would, if people are interested in this series from seeing this or from what we've been talking about, I highly recommend trying out Tokimeki Memorial 1, the very first one. There is an English translation out there. It does the job. The translation is serviceable enough to, you know, get across a lot of the major points. And again, there's like, I think like 12 or 13 dateable girls in that, and I think it's the same. It's pretty much the same for every game going forward. I think in this game there's like 9 boys that you can date.
Yeah, there's 9, and then there's 2. There's a DLC with 2 more.
Yeah, so there's like, and they are all wildly different. You know, this one is the very like childhood friend realizing you're falling in love type of thing. You know, being drawn together after 10 years. But there's like the really frilly girly girl guy who likes that kind of thing. And there's like mafia bancho type guy. You know, there's a lot of options you can do.
There's also just, we're seeing like such a narrow slice of like what you actually do in the game too, and there's all like, I'm trying to find a list right now of like the different clubs and things like that. I'm sure there's like a dozen at least.
Yeah, you can take your whatever your club in, like if you're in, you know, kendo for example, you can like go to nationals, and depending on how you perform at nationals, that affects how the boy likes you. And the ending also changes if you you know, take your club to nationals and succeed there. You know, it'll remember that, and it'll give you a thing at the end that says, yeah, you did this.
さあそして皆様ね、お気づきでしょうか。画面の左下なんですけれども、今の私のですね、パラメータが表示されています。
So at some point in year 3, and I will confess I did not write down the day that this happens, but there is a school play, and you get cast as the lead. And I'm really looking forward to that scene because it is pretty over the top. I was clicking around in the run, and I got there and I was like, is this a dream? Why is this happening? Because it's really out of place.
We also have not gone on a single date yet, just in case anybody was wondering if you missed that or not. We're still grinding stats.
Yeah, gotta make sure he likes us before we're continually passing him notes going, yes, no, do you like me? I believe the reason he's grinding so high is stat decay over time. If you just like don't do anything, your stats will very slowly drop, and you just have to make sure that everything stays above 150. Every stat except for the 0 has to be above 150. And stress. Stress has to be low.
Top left and bottom right.
Yeah. And rich, which is your money. That doesn't matter what it's at.
じゃあちょっとねよろしくないということでここで初のデートに風間くんを誘いましょう。
I think it's date time.
It's time. It's time. Our first date with Ryota.
商店街デート誘っちゃいます。さあどうでしょう。はい、OK をねいただきました。
I love the notes on this part. So I'll just go ahead and read them as Zokubun provided them to us. It's great. Ryota generally likes shopping spots, so the runner bounces back and forth between the shopping district and the mall, because characters don't like it if you go to the same place twice in a row. The dialogue options at shopping spots are usually some variation of agreeing with him, that looks good on you, or realizing he's messing with you. And the runner says he specifically goes only to these two because of the dialogue that pops up is the same, and it's less to memorize.
さすがイギリス帰りといったところでしょうか。そしてね、風間くんとドンと。
Yeah, there again. This is such a narrow slice. There are so many more dating spots that you can encounter, and so many more things you can learn about the boys that you date.
Really makes the boy in question seem extremely one-dimensional too.
He likes shopping and he likes going to the mall.
He likes shopping and he likes being told the clothes look good on him.
I mean, who among us, right? Like.
I'm not above a little bit of flattery, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this finally is the part where Michiru's fashion expertise would actually matter, but it doesn't. And again, I'll read from the notes that Zoku has provided. This is largely the same across every single game. Normally characters also dislike if you wear the same outfit twice in a row, or if it's not right for the weather, or if it's a style they like or dislike. The default overalls is the sole exception to this, and is the whole reason why fashion means nothing.
私高校3年のですね文化祭の思い出といえば某
You have some speedrun chat asking if you can wear the overalls to the play.
I believe they give you an outfit, but that would be very funny. I mean, we'll see. If the fashion screen pops up before the play, he's wearing those overalls.
幅学の高校最後の文化祭です。頑張っていきましょう。なんかね派手髪の下級生が通り過ぎていきましたね。みちるちゃんともそんなに話してはないですけれども、ちょっとかなり気まずいですかるちゃん。さあそしてね3年の、催しはですね学園演劇。
Okay, this is the play. So the boy that likes you the most shows up opposite you.
いやこの上演中ちょっとしたハプニングもあったんですが、
The putting the heel on your foot is so out of place for the rest of the game.
このね好きな男の子と主演張れるなんてこんなことありますかいというね。いやー高校一番の思い出になりました。
It did appear we were wearing a burlap sack, but I don't know what the play is, so maybe that was actually our costume.
It's Cinderella.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cinderella would wear overalls.
She would wear overalls. But yeah, this is again more proof that Ryota is in love with us at the top of our likability, because the boy that likes you the most appears as the lead opposite you.
ジャスコでございます。ジャスコデートを楽しみにね、お勉強頑張っていきますよ。さあデート当日。I
just think a lot too, not a lot of people are familiar with this series, and I get that because I wouldn't be familiar with this series if it wasn't for some very specific people who are very in touch with like the history of Japanese gaming. But you can see in so many games that are very popular in the West, like incorporations of this system, whether it's like what character you go on the date with in Final Fantasy VII, or like the entire Persona series. Social mechanics and things like that. Like, we are very accustomed to social mechanics in our RPGs now, and this game, and not this game specifically, but like this series is a very big part of why that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, definitely arguably Tokimeki 1 was like the originator. You know, it was not the first dating sim by any means. And I'm not trying to claim that, but its popularity and its reach definitely changed the tone of the whole genre.
対策を取っていることでしょう。上位を狙っていきましょうか。はい、オール100点の学年一、私にかなうものはおりません。
First again, we are so smart.
さあ、みちもね褒めてくれております。さあ、ここでねデート前に念のため、セーフティーセーブをさせてください。
Oh, doing a safety save.
ここからねリスタートして。
Oh, this is probably for the kiss versus. What was the other thing for the donation incentive?
Let me check really quick.
Oh, all right, we're popping into. I saw skinship pop up, which means that. Oh, I think he ignored it there.
風間くんバッチリ着こなしちゃうんですね。いや、かっこいい。
It is reply to confession, and the options are with all of the yen responds with a kiss, and with none of the yen yes.
God, that would be. I kind of wanted to see that. That would be funny. All right, so count it up. We're on 3 dates. This is setting up our 4th. And we hit 5. All we have to do is just blast to the end of the year 3. Then we're done.
Yeah, the date was also on Christmas Eve, so we're gonna get the 3rd year Christmas party pretty much like right after that too. So.
そして着ていく服はですね、まあやっぱ
We're into the party.
やっぱ大好きな
Just the overalls again. Perfect.
あー、下手こいたあー、ごめんなさい。ちょっと年一のイベントなんでね。いやー、ちょっと忘れてたんですけど。
I love the Christmas party music too.
Yeah.
The
Christmas party is really funny because in past games they've done things like Blue Elephant, where you'll put like a random gift in and then get a random gift out, and if you get your chosen boy's gift, obviously your affection goes way up. But you can put like a rock in and it'll just like someone random will get a rock.
クリスマスパーティー後に風間くんのおじいちゃんがね経営している骨董品屋さんにね、行くイベント、これがねちょっと挟まってきます。風間くんと一緒に過ごしたいところは山々なんですが、攻めのチャートの場合ね、好感度をあえて下げてねこのイベントが発生しないように進行します。
Gradually advancing Ryota.
安定の、こうチャート選択をしてね今進めております。はい、デートいきましょうか。気合のオーバーオールを決めてですね。お、なんかね、チャラ男が来ましたね。このね、デート前に絡まれるイベントすごく面白いです。スピ的な勧誘とかがね、あったりするんですけれども、皆さんね、ぜひこのイベントも面白いので。
Believe from the notes that was an event where someone will try to hit on you and Ryota will drive them off. Or not if his affection is not high enough, but obviously his affection was high enough there. So.
追加のね、デート延長の
Yeah, there's a lot of really weird options you can come up with for these dates.
綺麗に街が輝いております。
There's in past games there's like if characters don't like your outfit when they show up, they'll just walk away. Like you can set up a whole date for them, wait 2 weeks, go on the date, wear the wrong thing, and they'll just ghost you. You could like pick the wrong option and tell them they look terrible, or like take someone into a haunted house when their favorite thing is a roller coaster or something. You can really do some emotional damage to the people you are ostensibly interested in.
またデート延長のお申し出いただいてしまいました。クソ寒いね、真冬の海岸。
This is an involved date. We've gone from mall to a karaoke booth, the beach. But that's
and we're home. Yep.
That's 5 dates.
風間くんと初詣に誘ってね、OK いただきましたが、なんとここで逆に風間くんからね、初詣行こうぜというお誘いをいただいてしまいました。魂のオーバーオールを着ていきましょう。
Off to Hatsumode, New Year's Shrine visit. And well, of course, he hasn't done anything to make Ryota dislike him, so obviously he's going to show up again.
コーデをしてくれる風間くんとの恋愛成就をお祈りして、おみくじはね引かずに帰りましょう。
Okay, listening to his commentary there, I think I actually got confirmation for something I was trying to look up. At times, characters can change how you can refer to them. And I believe from looking up in this game, only the boy can ask you to change how you refer to him. You can't say, hey, can I start calling you, Ryota, which is like very familiar in Japanese, like referring to someone by their first name only. So I believe he switched to Kazama-kun there, which I think is more affectionate. Someone's gonna have to correct me on this. I am not by any means an expert on Japanese honorifics.
Advancing honorifics and like nicknames and stuff is definitely something else in this series that is used to communicate affection levels, so that would make sense.
Yeah, it'll like go up in what you can call him.
Still walking home alone.
お、来ました。風間くんのイベント。はい、日曜日にデートのお誘い。
Yeah, he'll pick walk home with Ryota if that option becomes available, but otherwise, no. We meet no other boys. I don't believe he's met anybody that could form a friendship group with Ryota. I think he's met one, but not the other.
はい、こうあったかそうに見えますが、1月でございます。これはですね、どれだったかな、もうのんびりお散歩できていいねにしましょう。はい、成功です。はい、またね。なんと
I think this is date number 5. I think the other stuff might have been after the Christmas party, but I'm not totally sure.
Okay, you're probably right.
結構波立ってるんですけれどもね、好きな食べ
It looks the same though, so I don't know.
好きということで、そばね、炭水化物の中でもね、タンパク質量がね、多めなので私も大好きでございます。
February 1st of the final year, we're closing in.
Yep, 2 months left. So this is ordinarily the time where you'd be scrambling, trying to make sure none of your bombs went off, making sure your boy was top in the Marie Garden. But you've been so laser focused on Ryota the whole run that it just does not matter. He will be with us whether he wants to or not.
もう受験目前、それどころではございません。家に帰ります。手作り
I think you did buy some chocolates there, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, I looked away for a second and missed the menu.
I just saw the chocolate shop background.
Yeah, you always go there. It's whether you buy any or not is you either buy or you make homemade.
Okay. I don't think we bought any then.
That's Mikagi-sensei showing up in the background now.
ちょっと大学受験ね、一流れ大学の受験も気が気ではないんですけれども、すいません、上の皆さんも風間くんとのエンディング行きたいんですが、
DJ Ree's not worried, I'm not worried.
Yeah. I'm curious what the that safety save was pretty far back. What would change past that point to potentially have to redo.
Yeah.
誰もいない教室、いろんな思い出が詰まった学校、食堂も誰もいない。まるで私の心のような空っぽの学校。せめて思い出の教会にでも行ってみようかな。大学に入ってあんまり来れなくなるし。
So I believe this is the run up to the confession scene. You meet him in the church where you played as kids. I think every confession scene takes place here, but like I guess it's slightly more meaningful because it's Kazama. Because he made his last name Chan. He just Kazama just calls him Chan. Which is an honorific, it's not like somebody's name.
鐘の音が聞こえてさ。
私も聞こえてきたんだけど。私もだよ。
マジかよ。
I think this is the answer as well for the bid war that they've been doing.
Yeah.
Going up here.
力貸してくれてるのかもな。
どういうことどういうこと？
じゃあ次は今の俺たちの番か。
どういうことかな。
俺さ、おじいちゃんの店で3年間修行してイギリスに帰る約束だったんだ。
せやったんや。え
I have to admit something right now. I also watched this run on 1.5 speed when I was getting ready for this, and
So
like this has a very like different tenor to it when it's like slowed down like
出ちゃう
this.
ね。
懐かしくて嬉しくてでも悔しくて。
Trying to use my limited Japanese knowledge to interpret what he's saying. Just failing
記憶の
miserably.
中のお前が溢れてきてさ。
I'm just looking into his eyes. That's the universal language right there.
つまいも掘り。
That's
幼
it.
稚園幼稚園か。
あの日の泥で汚れた全開の笑顔。
あったかな。
幼稚園の運動会で負けた俺と一緒にいてくれた泣き顔。
運動会負け
この
たっけ？
教会で俺の風車を吹いてる真剣な顔。
それ夢で思い出したから覚えてる。
あの日から俺ずっと父さんとおじいちゃんを騙してたんだ。
せやったんやな。
こっちに残るって言い出せなくて。でもやっと話してきたよ。
話聞くで。話聞こうか。うん。
これでやっとお前に言える。
あたし
じゃ
あ、ちゃんです、ちゃんです。
Okay, I caught it that time.
あ
Yeah.
離れても再会してからも変わらなく好きだ。
え
俺と結婚してください。
いきなり結婚めっちゃ迷うんだけど。
Okay, so that's high on the left, which is just dot dot dot
キ
yes.
スで答えちゃう。
誓いのキス。
シュうん、私も風間くんが好き。いつも持っててくれてありがと
本
う。
当に願いが叶った。
風車の願い事。
ああ、この思い出があったから俺は向こうで踏ん張れた。俺たちがいつも元気で幸せで、それで結婚できますように。
Oh,
絶対に
I just twigged. They're doing the in happiness and health thing.
絶対に
Sorry, I heard the word genki,
で
and
きま
that's
すように。
I'm pretty sure they're just doing a marriage thing.
I think it morphs into the marriage. Yep.
Yeah.
お前の髪飾りに似てるだろ。
めっちゃ帽子つけてるけど。綺麗。
イギリスに行ったばかりの頃見つけた。
And I think it's almost time because time is after the wedding potentially.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, one of the things I was thinking about doing was looking up the dialogue, translating it, and then having you and I read it back and forth to each other.
I would have totally been down.
I should have. I just didn't
Oh,
have time.
Yeah.
今度は俺が誓う。
はい。
もう二度と
Hi.
話さない。金が鳴った。来いよ。
We've done it. We've gotten Ryota Kazama to be our boyfriend.
ウェディングベル鳴っちゃいました。
And I guess our husband, kind of.
Yeah.
まだタイマーストップでございませんのでね、ご注意ください。ウェディングベルのような優しい鐘の音に包まれながら、私た
It's an
ち
interesting load word. Just a wedding bell.
教会の
Just straight up.
に描かれた王子様とお姫様のように見つめ合い、慈しみ合いながらずっと二人で歩んでいきたいと思います。卒業後、
Oh, he does have to go back to England, by the way.
一流れ大学に進学。
Yeah, I believe part of that was asking the protagonist to come to England with him.
先日二人で
Or no, it's I have to go back to England.
と言われたことがありました。 風間くんはみたいじゃなくて夫婦です似てなと冗談っぽく答えていましたが、私には小声で家族の前で結婚式を挙げる前にもう一緒に住もうかと真剣に言っていました。これからも共に時間を過ごして喧嘩したり笑ったり新しい思い出がたくさん生まれるでしょう。そしていつか2人が将来を誓う会う日には盛大なウェディングベルに祝福されたいです。あの日のそよ風のぬくもりや鐘の音を思い出しながら変わらない永遠の愛を。まだタイマーストップでございません。はい、これからですね、スタッフロール入りますが、この後
just had to let him style it out at the end
Yeah,
there.
oh, for sure.
風間くんとゴールインしちゃいました。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Yeah, I believe they're going to call time pretty soon. I don't think they're going to let the full credits run.
この時間を使ってね、
They've been doing that for other games.
感想なんかを、お話しさせていただきたいなと思うんですけれども。
While the credits play, do y'all want to plug yourself?
無事に風間くんとの
Yeah, I was going to say go watch DJ Ree. I watched a bunch of his runs to prep for this, and he's pretty funny. Even with my limited amount of Japanese, he's got some good jokes. Yeah, played Tokimeki Memorial. The series is really good. Like I said, there's an English translation out there. It's definitely worth checking out if you're interested in this series. They also released it on Steam, or not on Steam, on Switch. So that's worth checking out if you can read Japanese. I'm Amyrlinn. I do things here and there. I'm not that important otherwise.
All right. And yeah, I just want to say thank you, Amyrlinn, for doing this with me. And thank you again, Zokubun, for really helping us fill in the knowledge of this run specifically. Because this game is not available in English, and it would have been pretty difficult for us to piece this together without your help. So thank you so much for that. I hope everybody had fun. The whole point of doing this was to just bring a fun experience to everybody watching. These games are cool. They're like really unique, and I'm really glad that people are speedrunning them. And I'm glad that we were able to help showcase this. I'm really glad that the English Restream is bringing the entire marathon over to a Western audience, because RTA in Japan is a really important marathon. The Japanese speedrunning community is really important to everything that we do as a broader speedrunning community, and I'm just super glad that we were able to help kind of like be a part of this fairly unique experience that I never would have guessed like a week ago I'd be doing English commentary for a Tokimeki Memorial game on my Sunday night, but here we are, so...
Yeah. Once again, shout out to Zokubun, basically the third commentator for this run.
Yes.
She did a frankly staggering amount of research, more than I expect her to. Like I sent her my notes to go, hey, you've played this game, can you like check this over and make sure everything I've written is correct? And she added like a page and a half. So yeah. Zogu basically a third commentator.
I just want to say one other thing, which is I will be back for one more run on Thursday morning with my my Japanese boyfriend Ferric Fox. We will be co-commentating Wizardry: Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, and that'll be a lot of fun. So I'll see y'all then, and enjoy the rest of the event, everybody. In the meantime.
Yeah, I believe we've got Chance of Centaur coming up next.
Heard that's a really good game that I haven't played.
Yes. Chance of Centaur with BBRC. So stick around, check that out. Donate to RTA in Japan. They're a great organization, doing great things. I always have a lot of fun watching their runs, even if I can't fully understand them. And once again, play Tokimeki Memorial. This series is really great.
They are doing the whole credit sequence.
They are? Okay.
They have not called time yet.
You know what? That's respect. We can, well, we get to see all the CGs of Ryota and unnamed protagonist. Well, okay, she has a name.
This is the actual timing rules for the game, by the way. So it's not like they're just doing this for the marathon. Like if you were doing a run for a leaderboard, you would also do this. So
yeah, the protagonist does have a name, and I forgot to write it down. So
it's RTA time.
Very embarrassing. It is. It's RTA chan. Yeah.
次の RTA はチャンツオブ
I thought her name was Tokimeki.
はい。合ってますかね
Yeah.
はい。だったと思います。はい。
There's
この後ね、タイマー
so
ストップ
many
です
jokes
から
about people
一枚映画
misreading
タイマーストップでございます。
the
Okay,
Japanese letters. Okay, great. All right. Finish on the picture of Ryota.
Yeah, shout outs to DJ Regan. That was so entertaining, even just to watch. Not really understanding a lot of that, and you gotta love it when they can bring the energy and it's so infectious. It just it was so much fun to watch. So
Yeah. Arigatou gozaimasu. See you all later. Stick around for Chance of Senar.
arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you both so much for doing your commentary, and stick around, chat, because we are doing Chance of Senar coming up next. But get some water, take a breather, and we'll be right back with more English Speedrun Restreams.